Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today on the channel we're going to be discussing Liverpool Football Club, Arne Slot's future, and obviously that Wolves loss last night. If you do enjoy, please be sure to like and subscribe. You can see just to the side of us, Ottie, my dog. I'll try and show you her quickly. Little cutie. She's just vibing. Only the best teams drop points to Wolves. Arsenal obviously drew, and now Liverpool have unfortunately succumbed to a late loss. In the Premier League, duels are key. You have to win your fogging duels, as Mikel Arteta said. Now, for 70 minutes of that game, Liverpool were in cruise control. I don't think Wolves had a shot all game, and ultimately Virgil van Dijk lost out very softly in a duel in the middle of the park, and Wolves managed to counter, and their winger then managed to chip Alisson because he was 1-on-1. And that loss in that moment is ultimately what cost Liverpool the game, because it took the game out of their control. There is some fact to you have to score when you're on top, and Liverpool probably should have scored beforehand because the defence had platformed them for 70 minutes to continually attack. But equally, it's the defence's responsibility to platform the attack for a whole game, and losing out in that duel in that way when ultimately he was just too weak really cost Liverpool, because it put them down. But then he responded really quickly. Salah got the goal back and things were looking good for Liverpool. But then ultimately mistakes again cost Liverpool because Jones, I don't know what he was doing. He lost his head a bit, played a really poor pass backwards to Alisson, and basically caused chaos within the Liverpool ranks. All that means, though, is that Liverpool now have less wins than bottom place Wolves in 2026. So I saw online many Liverpool fans asking for Arne Slot's head. Now, in today's video, we're going to discuss the reasons that Liverpool have had a poor season and whether I believe that would be the right call to get rid of their manager, Arne Slot. So what would be the reason that you'd look to keep Arne Slot? Well, he has a year left on his contract, and paying him out now doesn't make too much sense when you know he's a very good Premier League manager. He can go into next year, you can say, look, Arnie, you've won us the Prem, we've given you this season as a good grace, but next season you have to do better, otherwise we will be getting rid at the end of the contract. And it ultimately means that he could then go into next season, you could win challenged for the league or whatever with his squad. He's obviously a PL winner, and Liverpool have never, ever in their history sacked a manager who's won the Premier League. Now, that shows that doing that would be, as in sacking Slot, would be setting a precedent that would go against what is ingrained in the club in terms of what the club's about historically and what they stand for as a football club. It would be going against the fabric of Liverpool Football Club to sack Arne Slot, and I don't believe now is the right time to do it. They have invested 400 million, as in the board, the owners, into Arne Slot, into this current squad. Now, you've got to imagine that Arne Slot last summer said, we want Isak and Ekitike to long-term replace Salah, because Salah's obviously got a year left after this season on his contract. We're probably going to end up cashing in on him at the end of this season. And Isak and Ekitike will be the future of Liverpool. Now, unfortunately, obviously, Alexander Isak has had an injury for the majority of the season. But it's likely that if that is Arne Slot's vision, and you've invested £400 million into Arne Slot's vision of what will be the next stage of Liverpool, with flying fullbacks, obviously, with Isak, with Ekitike, then the long-term plan has to be seen through, because while you go in a period of transition where Trent's left, who was the creative hub, where Salah was sort of being phased out, he's come back in, but looks like he'll be leaving. For the club's future to be secured and that transition to be successful, you need to let the person who is guiding the transition see his vision through to ultimately see if he has done a good job. Because right now you can't tell. There's been too many sort of ups and downs throughout the Liverpool season. They've had an array of injuries with quite a small squad which can't really deal with the injuries. So So ultimately what I'm trying to say is the board have backed him with £400 million to realise his new vision for what he thinks Liverpool Football Club should be after the back of him proving his worth by winning a Premier League title. I think he should be given his whole contract just to see it through, because ultimately a good summer window, you've still got great players to platform, you've still got Virgil van Dijk, you've still got McAllister or Ekitike or Isak or whoever that you can just expand upon and do well. And I also want to say, from speaking with my friends who are Liverpool fans, they also have told me that they believe that Edwards got the main say in transfers. Slot wanted a winger, he wanted Diaz to stay. And if that's the case, you can't solely blame him for this season. If he has not got the transfers that he wanted for his system yet, then you can't blame him solely for things going wrong. Yes, managers should adapt, but managers nowadays have their systems in place. Slot's proven that his system works because he's won a Premier League. So on that basis, getting players to suit his system now and an upturn in results will occur. Liverpool, as I touched upon before, have also had key injuries this season. Isak has been out, obviously, for the most of the season, for a £100 million player. Frimpong is in and out of the side, and I thought yesterday against Wolves, some of Liverpool's best play came from when Salah and Frimpong linked up. Then you have Leone, who's been injured for the majority of the season. Salah has had a debacle where he was in and out, spoke against Slot, then came back into the team, reintegrated after AFCON. Yeah, and then also you have the unprecedented situation of Diogo Jota's unfortunate passing, which to me, I think it will still impact the players now. Ultimately, these players were close. These players had a player in their ranks as a teammate, as a friend, and he has passed. So they're obviously going to be grieving, and that can, there's no way of wording how that will affect the squad long term throughout the season, even into next season. So I think ultimately, in my opinion, this season was a free pass for Slot. As long as he makes top 5, which he should do, as long as he does the bare minimum, he should just get by, and he's got the good grace of the Premier League. Not only that, Rio Ngamoa is a player that Liverpool fans keep saying, oh, he should be playing more minutes. Well, yes, but he's also 17. You've got to protect a player of that ability, and he's been platformed to come off the bench and show his ability, and he looks brilliant. He looked good against Sharp against Wolves as well. But I think it would be selfish of Slot to chuck Rio Ngamoa into the limelight and arguably ruin his confidence, ruin the player long term to protect his job. Slot is doing what is in the best interest of the player and in the best interest of Liverpool Football Club, and that is protecting him and gradually phasing in minutes. Now, Liverpool fans who think that obviously they should win the league this season, I don't know, because as with Arsenal last season, if you don't know from the channel, I'm an Arsenal fan. If you don't have your best players fit, you can't perform to the same level as you did previously. This season, Liverpool have dropped off but have had key players injured for large parts, and I believe that there's a correlation between that. Obviously, there's been a massive upturn in the team. In terms of upheaval, you've not got the consistent lineup or players or anything or relationships that you had previously. So for me, I just don't. I think, like, calm down a bit. Like, seriously, you can't win the league without you key players. And next season, you'll have fit centre backs. So when Canate or whoever's in centre back drops out of form, Leone can come in, or Gomez can come in, or whoever you have. I know Gomez is injury prone himself. This season, it's been a case where you've had Virgil van Dijk and Canate and an Endo filling at right back, or Szoboszlai filling at right back, because Conor Bradley's been injured and Frimpong's been injured, and it's just very makeshift, and you can't win the league on a makeshift team, basically. And that's something to do with squad depth, squad planning, which, again, as Liverpool fans have told me, that's down to Edwards, not Slot. Now, another reason for me, in my opinion, not sacking Arne Slot is that there is no ready-made replacement. Do Liverpool fans really want Alonso? Like, he chose Real Madrid over them. He chose Real Madrid over you if you're a Liverpool fan. He basically said, no, my team's Real Madrid, bye-bye Liverpool. And I get it, he was an ex-player, but he also is... That's got to be an issue. He's not prioritised the club first. Now, also, I know he didn't necessarily end at Real Madrid, but he was also limited in his success at Real Madrid. His main success was at Bayer Leverkusen, where he used a three at the back system, which doesn't seem to be trending to work in the Premier League at the moment. So I don't think Alonso's a straightforward fit, as people may think. And if you're not going for Alonso, there's no ready-made a replacement out there. Tuchel signed a new deal at England, even though I think he's a bit too defensive for what Liverpool really need, as charismatic as he is. So the other options, maybe Luis Enrique, but is he really... I don't look at him and think you're a Liverpool type manager. You're a Liverpool manager, if that makes sense. He's good enough to be, but is he? No, I don't think he is. But anyway, Slot showed his ability last year. He won a title in his first season at the football club, dealing with Salah, Trent and Virgil van Dijk's contracts on the way. They were obviously expiring. There was lots of talk about it, but he kept calm, and that situation didn't faze him. I think there's more issues at Liverpool than Arne Slot. I think Arne Slot, if anything, should be given the tools for the club to be built around. I think he's an excellent manager. He's proven his credentials last season, and ultimately he should be given the time, based on last season, to rectify the issues. Michael Edwards should be shown the door, should be got rid of. If you're going to spend 400 million but then buy two strikers and not a winger, and that's on him, as in Edwards, then he should be shown the door, because ultimately Arne Slot's proven his worth. Give him what he wants. If you wanted Luis Diaz to stay, give him Luis Diaz. If he needs a winger, give him a winger. If you wanted Semenyo, bring in Semenyo. Just give the manager what he wants and there'll be an upturn. Because ultimately the system that's being played with the two bombing fullbacks can only be realised if Slot is given the tools in terms of what he needs for it to pull it off. So yeah, I think Liverpool will get top 5. I think that they should be fine. I think that if they changed manager now, it'd be a bit of a panic. But that's just my thoughts on Liverpool Football Club. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're a Liverpool fan, do you agree with me? Do you want Slot gone? Like, what's the situation? Let me know what you guys are feeling around the club in the comments below. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye.